Student leader Brenda Chastelin says there's something many students are wishing for this holiday season, a consistent message on whether they can go home or not.
We haven't necessarily seen a lot of clear policy from provincial governments about what's expected of students at this time.
The public health messaging from provincial authorities has generally been stick to your household, meaning don't go home. But Ontario's website suggests traveling home is possible for students if students self-quarantine or drastically reduce close contact with others for 10 to 14 days before returning home. In some other provinces, the advice is that it's okay for students to go home for the holidays. No mention of quarantining.
While I think maybe students would appreciate some more guidance, at the end of the day, they do just have to follow public health orders and factor in their own decisions into this and own circumstances.
We must really have a realistic harm reduction approach with the students.
This medical officer of health for the region that includes Queen's University says messaging must also include advice on what to do when students return to school in the new year.
That individuals monitor their symptoms very closely, that they avoid social gatherings in residence the very first week or two.
Meanwhile, Brenda Chastelin still hopes he'll be able to visit his family in Ontario, though Nova Scotia will make him self-isolate when he gets back to school.
The main thing holding me back from going into Ontario is trying to figure out a solid quarantine plan on the other end to make sure that I have a house or an apartment that I can use for 14 days to be able to stay away from others.
Which would make for an expensive and complicated holiday in a year full of complications. Sumanac-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.